Welcome back to Augmented Voices, the podcast that dives deep into all things AI. And today we're tackling a question that's got everyone buzzing. Is artificial general intelligence, AGI, right around the corner? And if machines get as smart as humans, will we go from creating to just editing what AI pumps out? We've got some awesome sources to dig into, so let's jump in.
The crazy thing is, this isn't just some sci-fi fantasy anymore. Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, is predicting AGI by 2025. That's practically tomorrow.
2025, whoa, that's a bold prediction. I mean, AI has been promising big things for ages. What makes Altman so sure this time?
He's putting his faith in engineering, not some magical new discovery. OpenAI is all in on their Orion model, and it's making crazy progress in coding. Actually, it's already beating human programmers on certain tasks.
So coding's the key to AGI. But can coding alone really equal general intelligence? I mean, an AI could be a coding whiz but still lack, common sense or emotions. Things that are pretty basic to human intelligence, right?
You've got a point there. Coding's like the language of computers. If AI cracks that code, it could learn and adapt way faster. Imagine it. If an AI can write its own code, it could create its own software, deal with new situations without us humans, even design better AI. That's getting us a lot closer to the kind of self-learning, problem-solving smarts we think of with AGI. But you're right, there's more to general intelligence than just coding chops.
Totally. And even with the coding nailed down, training these super advanced models needs tons of top-notch data. They can't just throw any old website or YouTube video at it.
Absolutely. OpenAI knows this. They've even got a foundations team dedicated to solving the data scarcity problem. Think about teaching AI to diagnose diseases. It needs millions of medical records to learn, but getting that data brings up a ton of privacy issues. This is the kind of challenge OpenAI's foundations team is tackling, finding clever ways to get and use high-quality data while keeping things ethical and respecting privacy.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But honestly, even with all this progress, AGI by 2025, I'm skeptical. I guess time will tell if Altman's right. But let's switch gears to something a little more, fun. You sent an article about Duolingo using an AI chatbot with a personality like a bored, sarcastic teenager to present their financial reports.
Yeah.
A sassy AI CFO. That's kind of hilarious.
It's definitely a unique approach. Duolingo's playing to a younger, tech-savvy crowd, and it cleverly sidesteps that awkward AI voice thing. Instead of trying to sound superhuman, they're leaning into that teenager persona.
It's bold, and it sounds like it's working for them. But could it backfire? Could that tone confuse people or make the financial stuff seem less serious? What if investors hate a chatbot that sounds like it'd rather be scrolling TikTok than talking about earnings?
Good point. The tone might not be for everyone, and there's definitely room for misinterpretation, but it's an interesting experiment. Duolingo's success suggests people are hungry for this creative use of AI. It makes you wonder, could a little personality make data more engaging, even in stuffy fields?
It's worth thinking about. Speaking of AI getting creative, we've got to talk about Ide, the humanoid robot artist whose painting of Alan Turing just sold for a crazy $1.3 million at Sotheby's. A robot artist raking in millions. That's got to be a first, right?
It's a pretty big deal. It's the first time a big auction house has sold art made by a humanoid robot. And this isn't just digital art. Ide uses an actual paintbrush, creates physical paintings.
Wait, hold on. So this isn't like Midjourney or Dolly where it's all digital. This robot is literally painting on a canvas. That's wild. Does that physical part add something to the artwork, or is it just a gimmick to make it seem more human?
That's a fantastic question, and it gets to the heart of what makes this so intriguing. Ide is guided by AI analyzing images, using algorithms to plan brushstrokes. But the end result is a real, tangible piece of art. It makes you wonder, what does created even mean when a robot's involved?
It adds a whole new layer to the AI and creativity debate. And selling for $1 million, that's a loud signal that the art world, maybe the world in general, is taking AI art seriously.
No doubt. This sale could shake up the art market big time. It'll be interesting to see how collectors and investors react to AI-generated stuff in the future. Will we see more robot artists hitting the auction block? Will human artists need to adapt to this new landscape? This sale definitely raises more questions than it answers.
It feels like we're standing on the edge of something huge. A robot artist making millions, AI chatbots going viral, and then this whole AGI by 2025 thing. It's exciting, but kind of overwhelming, right?
Definitely a lot to process, especially for the creative world. We've talked about art, but this goes way beyond painting or writing. What happens when AI can write music like the greats, or design buildings that are both beautiful and functional? It's exciting, but a little scary, too.
Makes you wonder what happens to human artists, Do we just become obsolete? We're already seeing worries about AI replacing writers, musicians, designers. What if AI starts creating stuff that's not just good, but groundbreaking?
Lots of people are asking that, and it's natural to feel some anxiety. But technology has always shaken up creative fields. Photography didn't kill painting, it just created a new art form. Printing didn't destroy storytelling, it just made it more accessible.
So we shouldn't fear replacement, but see AI as a tool to push creativity in new directions.
Exactly. Think of AI as a collaborator, a partner in creativity. It can help us explore new ideas, break through those creative blocks, even challenge our own ideas about what art can be. Imagine an architect with an AI that can generate thousands of building designs based on what they want. The AI isn't replacing the architect's vision, it's giving them tons of possibilities to work with.
That's an optimistic take. But let's be real, even if AI doesn't totally replace us, wouldn't it still mean lots of people lose jobs? What happens to all those artists, musicians, writers who might be out of work?
It's a valid concern and one we need to think about seriously. Job displacement is a real possibility, not just in creative fields, but everywhere. But I think it's also a chance to rethink work itself.
What do you mean by that?
Maybe instead of fearing job losses, we look for new ways humans and AI can work together. Maybe we'll see more hybrid jobs where people use AI tools to boost their creativity and productivity.
So, see AI as an opportunity to evolve our roles and create new possibilities, not a threat.
Precisely. We might become more like curators, editors, directors, guiding AI's output, making sure it aligns with human values and aesthetics.
Like we're going from a world of human-created everything to human-AI collaboration, where the line between creator and editor gets blurry.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe this collaboration will lead to totally new art forms, music genres, literary styles we can't even imagine yet.
Okay, let's go back to OpenAI's Orion model and its focus on coding for AGI. We touched on it earlier, but why is coding seen as so crucial?
Remember, coding's a language of computers. If AI masters that, it's like giving it the keys to the kingdom. It can understand how software works, but also create and change it. It's a huge step towards the self-learning and problem-solving we see as general intelligence.
So it's not just AI writing code, but understanding it, learning from it, even improving it.
You got it. Imagine an AI that can write code, but also debug existing code, find weaknesses, even suggest better ways to do things. It's a self-evolving system, learning and adapting faster than any human programmer.
That's impressive and a little scary, honestly. It raises questions about control and who's responsible. If AI is writing its own code, who takes the blame when things go wrong?
That's a critical question, and one we need to be discussing seriously. As AI gets more sophisticated and independent, we need strong ethical frameworks, regulations, safety measures. We need to make sure it's developed and used responsibly with some level of human oversight. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. AGI is still a concept, and there are plenty of hurdles to clear before we get there.
Right, we don't want to get lost in the what-ifs. But while we're speculating, what about the potential benefits of AGI? We talked about the creative side, but what about the big picture? Could AGI help solve some of humanity's biggest problems?
Absolutely. The potential upside is huge. Imagine AI helping us develop clean energy, cure diseases like cancer and Alzheimer's, personalize education for every student, even predict and prevent natural disasters. It could change the game for tackling some of the biggest challenges we face.
Sounds like a utopia where AI helps us solve everything. But let's be real, there's a downside too, right? Couldn't AGI be used for bad things just as easily?
You're right, it's not all perfect. Like any powerful technology, AGI could be used for good or evil. It depends who controls it and how it's programmed. That's why it's so important to prioritize ethical development and make sure AI aligns with human values.
So it's not just the tech, but how we choose to use it. That's a big responsibility.
It is, and it's a responsibility we all share. It's not just on tech companies or governments to figure this out. We all need to be part of the conversation about AI's future and how we want to shape it to benefit humanity.
And maybe that's the key takeaway here. Whether AGI arrives in a few years or decades, AI is already changing the world. And it's up to all of us to make sure those changes are for the better. But before we get too deep into the ethics, let's shift gears and explore another fascinating aspect of AI that's making a big splash: the rise of generative AI.
We've been talking about AGI's potential, but generative AI is already making waves, you know?
Yeah, it seems like it's everywhere. I mean, look at all those crazy AI-generated images and the chatbots writing entire articles. I even heard about an AI symphony that fooled music experts.
And it's not just copying old styles. Generative AI is pushing the boundaries of what's possible. We're seeing it Design products, compose music, create personalized learning. It's like having a brainstorming buddy that never runs out of ideas.
That's a cool way to think about it. So instead of AI taking over, it's actually boosting human creativity, like a creative partner on steroids.
Exactly. And this isn't just for the pros either. Imagine using generative AI to write a song, create art, even design your dream home. It could make creativity accessible to everyone.
That's pretty exciting. But with
Yeah.
anything new, there are always concerns, right? I mean, we've seen those deepfakes getting harder to spot. And what about the potential for misuse? Like someone using it to create fake news or spread lies?
Those are definitely valid worries, and it's crucial we have safeguards against misuse of AI. Like, we need to invest in tools to detect fakes, promote media literacy, set ethical guidelines.
So it's not just about the tech itself, but how we use it responsibly. Seems like a recurring theme in our AI conversation.
It's true for any powerful technology. I mean, fire can cook food or burn a house down. It depends on the person using it. The same goes for AI. We need to remember it can be used for both good and bad.
All right, so let's zoom out for a second. We've covered a lot from AGI's potential to the rise of generative AI and the big question of AI's impact on human creativity. That's a lot to digest.
It is, and it's only going to get faster from here. The AI revolution is happening, and it's changing the world as we know it.
So what does this all mean for us regular folks trying to keep up? What advice would you give listeners who might be feeling a little overwhelmed or maybe even scared by all this?
I'd say be curious. Don't be afraid to learn about AI, even if it seems complicated. The more we know, the better we can handle its impact and help shape its future.
And remember, this isn't just about the technology. It's about people. It's about the choices we make, the values we uphold, and the kind of future we want.
Well said. AI is a tool, and it's up to us how we use it. We have the power to use this technology to make things better for everyone.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, here's one last thought for you to chew on. If AI can make art write code and even handle financial reports, what unique human skills and qualities become even more valuable in this AI-driven world?
That's a great question to think about. Maybe it's our empathy, our critical thinking, our ability to connect with each other on a deeper level. These are the things that make us human, and they'll be even more important as we navigate a world with more and more AI.
Thanks so much for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI. It's been a fascinating journey, and we hope you learned something new along the way. Remember, the future of AI isn't set in stone. We're all creating it together. So stay curious, stay involved, and keep those augmented voices coming.